Welcome, fight fans, to episode 71 of the Hooks In MMA podcast. We've got another special episode this week, welcoming our friend and fighter, Josh the Gentleman Hill, for the third time. He's fighting Friday night on Bellator 272 in Connecticut, looking for a big win, bounce back here so he can climb the ranks and get in that top 5 picture and hopefully get that title shot. Next up, we also have another Bellator fighter fighting Friday night on the prelims. His name is Killys the Killer Mota. He'll be squaring off in the octagon, so hope you tune in for those interviews and watch them and cheer them on Friday night. We're going to be touching on a few of the hot headline news that have been flown across the media here over the last week. And then we've got a special edition of Easy Lines previewing not one, but 2 cards this weekend, Bellator 272, and a big UFC fight night Saturday night featuring Rob Font and Jose Aldo. So Zoni, why don't you kick things off to begin hot headline news?
Yeah, so obviously, if a few things have come out. We've talked about the upcoming fights and Crons. I know, you're a Jan fan. Rakic has moved his way up, and Anthony Smith was calling for that rematch against Rakic. So they made this fight, they booked it, and it's basically, I would say, a #1 contender fight for the winner of Glover and Yuri. And just wondering what you think about it. What do you think about the style and the matchup between the two guys and how important it is for the division?
Yeah, we were talking a bit earlier, almost compare this one, at least for Jan, like his fight against Izzy, where he's going to have to, get inside, go for those takedowns, use more of his strength, because as we all know, Rakic, his striking is really good, especially his kicks. So dangerous on the feet. So I think it is going to be one of those just kind of grind him out strategies for Jan. And we were also talking, like, it's tough to predict what he's going to do. He looked so bad his last fight against Glover. So hats off for Glover for getting the finish, but almost like he was distracted or the fame got to him after he, not just won the belt, but then defended it versus Izzy. So we'll see, man. Hopefully he gets a bounce back win, but it's no guarantee. And I think it's going to be just a really good matchup there in March. What do you think, Z?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking that's pretty much the same thing. I like that as well. I really like the matchup. Yuri's really been on a pretty good hot streak there, so I'm definitely excited about it. And Jan Blachowicz is going to have another opportunity to show the Polish power, right? So, when's this one scheduled for though? Exactly in March.
Headline fight, they said in March. So. Yeah. I don't know yet if I think it's a pay-per-view, but they didn't actually say. So more to come, I would say, in the next week or two on that. And I guess one of the fallout things is Anthony Smith, who is looking for that Rakic rematch, has been on social media kind of complaining and taking exception to it. So hopefully he can get booked and get back in there as well versus, someone in the top 5 or top 10.
Yeah. I like the comparison you made to Crons to Joanna and Jan being from Poland, and how small that country is compared to others, and just like the fame that they've brought in. Sometimes maybe could be too distracting for them, too many obligations, media stuff. So I couldn't agree more with you about that.
Yeah, kind of gets to your head a bit, I think, and yeah, when you're on talk shows all day long, it takes away from your training and kind of lose sight of what your ultimate goal is, and that's to go in the cage and beat someone up, not look good in front of a camera. So anyways, will be interesting. Next topic, I think, was a bit of a rant we saw here. Bones Jones going off against Winkleboy. What do you think about that, Zoni and Z? Kind of crazy.
Yeah, you go ahead, Zone. I didn't see all of it, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it just came out like earlier today, and just on a huge rant, like, forget it's like a 5-pager, like 10 tweets or something like that. and he's just talking about Mike Winklejohn, his coach at Jackson Wink, and how he was the nicest guy and like all this stuff in front of him, and then behind closed doors, like he was airing his dirty laundry and kind of backstabbing. And then he said like you know, he's been making all this money off of me, but he's never been like the person that he's portrayed to be and all this stuff. So he's going real spiritual like he is, and he's digging down deep, and he's either lashing out for being kicked out, or it's a bit of both, or maybe he just knew this all along and never decided to vocalize it until he got his butt kicked out. So I don't know, interesting stuff, but kind of nothing new with John Jones. To be honest, just want to see what happens here with his court case, and I do want to see him in the heavyweight division. It's just stay out of the shit outside of the fucking ring, for God's sake.
Yeah. Get your act together, bud. You're old enough by now. So yeah, let's hope to see a return. Right?
The UFC made a huge mistake not getting him and Ngannou into the ring together, or into the octagon. They should have done that.
They missed the boat.
Yeah, they're kicking themselves, right? Like you only have a certain window that you can get these guys, especially when they're, you know, breaking the law left and right. So
they win a lot of business battles with other people, but they lost that one for sure.
Yeah. It's a good call. So what else here? We got any other big announcements, Zoni, that caught your eye?
Z brought it up and couldn't agree more. Just absolutely ecstatic for Makhachev and Dariush. Two unbelievable guys that are both deserving for this #1 contender fight. And it's just, these are the types of fights for me anyways, that like you hear about them and until they're signed, like you can't get too excited, but they booked this one. It's good to go. Now, obviously you just pray no one gets injured or COVID or something, but it's a really big fight for the division. Winner gets Oliveira and Poirier. So unless Poirier moves up, who knows? He might vacate, and then you got those guys fighting. So maybe for interim.
Or against Connor when he returns.
Yeah, maybe. I have a feeling they're gonna make Usman and Connor. I have this weird feeling. Yeah, I'm having this weird feeling about it.
At a catch weight?
No, for the 170 belt. I really do.
170. Yeah, they showed he put on some pounds. I saw a picture of McGregor.
I think this is going to happen because their UFC's trying to use all the money, right? Like it's the guy who brings in the most.
The champ ones always get the most like exposure and like, interest. Which, you know, speaking of, I could see Chimaev potentially beating Usman and then going up to try to beat Izzy or something. You know what I mean? So
he'll definitely do that if he gets it.
Yeah. So,
calling out Brock Lesnar, calling out GSP, calling out
Godzilla.
Yeah, pretty much. Daniel Cormier, he said, "Let's wrestle, bro." And DC actually came back and was like, "I was in the Olympics. This is like DC time. It's DC time." And he's like, "You want none of that?" Like, I don't know, man. I'd still like to see that.
Be hilarious. But there's I guess the other big one, I don't know if we touched on it yet, but that Kevin Lee got released, right? 7 years, 18 UFC fights. Obviously hasn't been really relevant, I would say, in the last 3 years, but at one time was, you know, top 5, top 3 guy. So we'll see, maybe Bellator or PFL scoops him up. But that one, and then one thing in our group chat, we're kind of going back and forth. I didn't actually see it, but the Triller event on the weekend, I guess Zoni might have the best take, but you know, the biggest nuance or whatever unique thing was the triangle ring. So I think it's an interesting concept. Would love to hear, your guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing, and you know, and then it says featuring Metallica. And they were a big draw for the night. And that's what they were saying, like 70% of the fans were probably Metallica fans. And
smart.
Yeah, really smart. The only disappointment of the entire night, it was actually the in-between fights. I thought like the broadcast guys there didn't gel, and there was a lot of like they didn't know how to feed off each other. They looked unprofessional. So they're going to need to up that. But the actual, triangle ring, the triad, that's what they're saying. They're going to call this sport. Or it's not fighting, it's not punching, it's not boxing, UFC. It's the triad, and so it's a mixture of stand-up boxing and grappling, active clinch, active work in the clinch. If you're not, you can clinch, but if you're not doing anything, they separate. But if you're punching, you can elbow anything inside of that. And this triangle is like cutting off different parts of the ring. So it's all MMA fighters and it's all boxing fighters, and it's a mixture of the two. And it's trying to, maximize the amount of like impact on each other. Like the ring's cut off,
no ground,
no takedowns, no ground. And it was really interesting. And there's a couple really sick fights. Frank Mir got knocked out in the first round. He never should have fought the guy he fought. That guy's only 2 losses are against like Anthony Joshua and someone else. Like he got murdered. The other one was Mike Perry. Mike Perry looked unbelievable. He, even in a knockdown in either the first or second round, came back and won the fight against a pretty sick boxer. So his wife and kid were there, and he's like, it's a new me. But then, you never can't trust that guy sometimes. He finds a way to mess things up. So I don't know. You got to see what happens with him, but I'd like to see him back in this triangle again, because that guy's fun to watch.
So no kicks either, correct?
No kicks.
So it's almost like a hybrid of Muay Thai or kickboxing, without the kicking kind of.
And the promotion for that night was Shannon Briggs, the boxer, and Rampage Jackson. And it's boxer versus mixed martial arts. So I think they're going to do those guys against each other in a future match in this, because it's MMA fighters against boxers. And that's what all the matchups are. So it's kind of interesting.
So maybe like Jake Paul versus Kevin Lee next?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And the crazy part is the MMA team won. They won by points. You get points for finish and stuff like that. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what? It's cool. Like, hey, if this gets new fans to the sport, right? Because it's all like, they're all complementary. Like if you watch this, you're going to watch UFC, you're going to watch so if you can just get people in the door with something entertaining, and you got these Metallicas of the world, biggest bands in the world playing, like it's
a pretty good night out. Business. Like it's and that it said Mike Perry made $250K too. So that was like, if you got paid that and the company can maintain paying that, I mean, that's gonna bring some guys over too.
Paige Van Zandt maybe will.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, we'll be sure to follow that, and next event that happens, we'll give a review and breakdown analysis after.
Pretty interesting.
Absolutely. Love it. Very cool. Well, don't want to delay meeting our folks at the cashier, getting ahead of that book. We got 2 cards, like I said, double trouble, bonus time, Friday night Bellator 272, and then the fight night Saturday night. Z-Ball, our UFC specialist, is going to cover the latter half. But maybe Zoni, if you want to kick things off with Bellator, some of the fights you're eyeing, and we'll break down that card for our fans here.
Okay, I'm just pausing. Yeah, so really excited for Bellator this Friday, December 3rd. Obviously got our guest on. Like we said, Josh Hill, he's got a big fight. We found out earlier here that he got moved up to the main card because of a withdrawal from JJ Wilson. And there's a couple fights on this card I really like for our betting. Kai Kamaka came over from the UFC. Still don't think he should have got cut. I think he's well deserving to be in the highest level. Comes over and faces a guy that's a little bit dangerous, but he's at minus 210, and the value there for me, even that money line to parlay with something else, is fantastic. I love him there. What do you guys think about that one?
You go ahead there, Kronz. I'm not too sure on Bellator stuff.
Yeah, I took Kai Kamaka in a bunch of parlays. I don't think it's worth betting on its own. Just it's not going to return as much. But yeah, throw that in a 3-fight parlay and be nice to get that green check mark before the main card starts.
Yeah. The parlay of the night, I think I already did it, was Horiguchi minus 175, Jeremy Kennedy plus 165, Hill by minus 115, and the Kamaka one was minus 210. Those were my 4, I guess you'd say like parlay of the card, guys.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love that. It's funny, Spike Carlisle's on the prelims.
So he's been on a tear after being cut from the UFC. He's finished 3 straight guys and looks like an absolute animal. So I think he's gonna crush Moret. If you can bet it by finish, I think it's a lock.
Yeah, so we were just talking only the main card. Can you bet the props, like, you know, by finishing things? So
maybe. Is it?
It is, yeah. It's only the final 4 fights. At least right now on Bet365. So yeah, Spike's coming in at a minus 130. But looking ahead to that main card, I know when the odds were first released, what caught Zone's eye was Colin Huckbody. He's coming in at a plus 625 dog. And then you click into the props and the guy is fucking plus 1200 by finish, plus 1400 by decision. And I mean,
that's insane.
Yeah, he's fighting an undefeated guy, but Huckbody's pretty good, man. He's only got what, 1 loss? So
he was supposed to go to the UFC and he said, no, I'm not ready yet. Went back and fought Aaron Jeffrey, who we've had on the show a couple times, and lost. So it's almost like he lost his UFC chance by taking a step back. So maybe he's really motivated and pissed off and wants to just kill somebody. And let's see what happens. It's worth the value.
Absolutely, man. Like, and I mean, so let's break down the guy he's fighting a bit too. Like, okay,
Edlin's legit. He's legit.
Totally legit, but like, let's see, who is he actually beating though? You know what I mean? Like, I haven't actually gone too deep on this guy, but okay. Bunch of decision wins.
Yeah, he can be beat. He can be beat.
Yeah, you know, 5 wins in Bellator. Yeah, that's but the guys he's fighting, haven't really heard of many, and their records aren't all that great. So, hey, like Zebal says, it's worth a little bit of a sprinkle. Sit back, enjoy the fight, crack a beer, and hope that, you know, plus 600 dog hits. So,
let's go.
And then, of course, Hilroy, he is on the main card. Pick 'em odds right now. Same sort of story. He's got the experience. He's got the resume, fighting a guy a little more unknown. Brother was in the UFC, but just starting out his career, it seems. And no brainer for me. I'm going Hilroy all the way, both money line and by finish, which is paying plus 175. Sorry, not by finish, by decision, plus 175. Really liking that. And then flipping forward to the last 2 fight zone, you mentioned Kennedy and Horiguchi, but any analysis on those 2?
Yeah, it's tough. Emmanuel Sanchez is like one of the, and we've talked to him before too on here. He's one of the most like wildly controlled fighters. Like he'll put a pace like no one else. And he's very efficient. He's only really lost to like the really good guys. Kennedy has it all. He's just, you know, is he ready to explode? It's going to happen. Is this the fight? It might be. He's fantastic everywhere. Obviously, you know, he had that loss to Volkanovski in the UFC. That was a really tough fight early on for him. He's been a little bit back and forth, but he has all the talent in the world. So it's going to be it might even be a split decision. It should be a fantastic fight for the fans.
Yep, agreed. And it's funny too, because Sanchez is coming off 2 straight losses.
Yeah.
But he's a heavy favorite. So it's like kind of one of those like, I guess people think he's bound to bounce back, which he can, but
those guys were good that he lost. Like,
Patricio and yeah. So taking that into account, of course, he's lost to Pitbull twice here over the last, 3 years.
So they both have fought like two of the best ever featherweights. Kennedy's fought Volkanovski and then Sanchez fought Patricio.
So yeah, hell of a co-main. And yeah, I'm really excited to see Kennedy back in there, right? Real good. And then Horiguchi makes his return, right? Yep. Former champ, went to Rizin and then back again. How do you think he fares against the current champ in Pettis?
Pettis has been, growing like crazy. Like he's been in some fantastic fights. He showcases things I've never seen before. So I can't doubt him out in this fight. If he wins this, he's going to be making big bucks. But yeah, Horiguchi's been everywhere. He's fought everyone. He's been in any scenario that you can be for a mixed martial artist that's at the top of their game. And I just like him overall. It could end up anywhere, but I like him to take the W.
Beauty. Well, yeah, it's going to be a great Friday night of fights. Certainly determining the future of the Bellator division in the bantamweight division in Bellator. So, tune in to watch Josh and the gentleman there. Hopefully secure a big win. But looking ahead to Saturday, kind of a sleeper card. Obviously great main event in Rob Font, Jose Aldo. But Z, why don't you start off by breaking that one down for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, quickly recapping last week, we went 2-0 with Holloway winning the decision there. And that brings our career total to 144 wins and 95 losses, which means we're officially grinded our way back up to 60%. Woo! We're winning clip of 60.25% now. Let's hope we can stay over that this weekend, but certainly on our grind now to 65%, always putting our goals to the next stage here. And this weekend, we'll look to kind of just make just a few picks as well. A few things that we feel pretty confident on. And the main event is a great bantamweight matchup between Rob Font and Jose Aldo. Font comes in as a moderate favorite at -150, while Aldo's an underdog at +125. Tail to tape, Font, he's 1 inch taller, 1.5 inch reach advantage, and 1 year younger as well. Which surprised me a little bit, actually, because Aldo has been in the game so long from a really young age, right? Has shown his ability to really adapt and really just be tough and resilient, right? Font is on a 4-fight win streak right now. TKO finish Moraes, decision win over Cody Garbrandt most recently. Jose Aldo, he's on a 2-fight winning streak within this bantamweight division now. Decision wins over Pedro Munoz and Marlon Vera. Vera just obliterated Frankie Edgar's chin. So that makes that win that much more impressive for Aldo as well. I'm going to go with the underdog here and take Aldo to win this fight. Aldo looked amazing against Pedro. Some of the best fighting he's done in his career, actually. And in my opinion, Pedro is a nightmare-style matchup for Aldo. Pressure striker with an amazing chin. But Jose was able to outland him significantly, especially in the 3rd round, and really prove he's got what it takes to stick it in there with the top bantamweights at this point. He perhaps should have been there his entire career. I think he's got his nutrition and proper diet on point now, and really at the same level as all these other modern fighters now, fighting at what would be his true division right now. Font, he's not much of a pressure fighter himself. He kind of allows the opponent to come to him, which against Jose, that's going to be a problem. There's going to be a lot of leg kicking going on there. Even arguably against Cody Garbrandt, he didn't really put, some people say, oh, he pressured Cody so well, but was he really pressuring that much? He kind of let him come to him. And he wasn't moving that forward that much. And Cody literally has T-Rex arms. Font has a 6 reach advantage over him, and he couldn't really use it effectively. Jose isn't going to stand back. He's going to move forward those first 3 rounds. Now, if Jose dominates him and somehow wins the 4th and 5th round, We might be looking at a little EPO shit going on there or something. I don't know, but I do expect Jose to win the first few rounds. Most likely, I'm saying the first three, but not sure how that cardio is going to last for sure. Aldo going to be chopping at those legs, giving body shots the first couple of rounds, and by the time the fourth round rolls around here, it's not going to be the same Rob Font that we're used to, and Jose's advantage in cardio, even though that's going to drop at that point. Fonts is not going to be the same guy at that point in the fight. He's also part of that New England cartel group with Calvin Kattar, and they just love the box. That's all they do. They'll throw a front kick once in a while. That's it. I think Font was taking. I think when he was losing the fight to someone, he was taking someone down a little bit, but very, very little. He only does it if he's going to be in trouble. He's not really going to be. Neither of them are going to be looking to take each other down here. Not at all. Jose Aldo is going to seem huge compared to some of Font's previous opponents. As I said, Font isn't a fresh daisy himself. He's 34 years old. Jose's only 1 year older, 35, and this is a very active Jose Aldo, by the way. I'm only worried about those later rounds with Aldo, but I'll take him as an underdog here in this matchup. I like it. If this was a 3-round fight, I believe Aldo would be a slight favorite. He would be like the minus 150, 125. If this was a 3-round fight, 5-round fight, so people are giving Font more of the confidence here. If you don't want to go heavy on Aldo, but you do want to sprinkle a bit, Aldo decision plus 275 here looks like a lovely value to me. You're quadding up your money there, so I like that a lot. If you don't like the Aldo pick, though, perhaps you might like the over then. I like the over in this fight as well. Fight to go to the distance, minus 150. That looks good to parlay with a few things here we're going to speak about later. But what are you guys thinking? Do you agree with that Aldo over Font, or what's kind of your if you have any arguments against that?
Earlier this week, all throughout the week, I had Aldo. I had all the exact same things that you said, by decision. Love that. Till today, I was reading, Aldo said he wants this fight with TJ, and it just shocked me for a veteran that's been around, to even be talking about somebody else later on, when you got a fight this week. I don't know. It's kind of weird for me. So I still like Aldo, but it was making me think today, how focused is he about this present next couple of days? You would think a veteran like him, he would be. But I am going to go with Aldo by decision as well.
Oh, nice.
Good analysis, E-Balls. Definitely got me thinking. I'm going to fade it.
You love Font, though. You love Font.
I do, but I'm going to fade it. I'm not confident taking either guy. I think I'm actually going to stick to the over. That's what I'm really confident in. The over, just 3.5, I think, is decent enough value for me. It's minus 188. I mean, to then go another 7.5 minutes to get the minus 150, I don't think is really worth it. So I think I'll just kind of stick with that. Throw it in a few parlays, but I mean, I'm excited for the fight. I think it'll be a good fight, but I just, it's a coin flip to me, honestly. I think it's truly 50-50. And if you put a gun to my head and I had to pick, I like what you were saying, Z-Balls, with the Aldo by decision, and that's purely out of value perspective. So buckle up. It'll be a good show, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great fight. I'm very excited to see it. And if Font is able to beat Aldo, I'll definitely be very impressed. But I'm gonna have to go with Aldo on this one. Co-main event, though, we have Rafael Fiziev, I think is how you say it, and Brad Riddell. I might not be able to say it right, but he is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC right now.
I knew it.
I love Rafael. I love him. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. as soon as I saw him literally matrix dodge Mark DeCassie's kicks there, I kind of really started to like him after that. And then I saw him fuck up who's the other 145?
Bobby Green?
No. He's another tall, he's like a lanky guy.
Renato Moicano.
Yes, Moicano.
Moicano, yeah.
Yeah, he messed him up too. So anyway, which I wasn't really expecting. I think I might have bet against that. So maybe that's why I'm his new best friend now, because
Kazim's your boy.
I know. I don't know. Maybe I didn't.
We all have to have one. So he's yours.
Yeah. He definitely is. And so anyways, I'm taking him -125, slight favorite over Brad Riddell, who I actually do greatly respect and is one of my favorite, not one of my favorite fighters, but everyone's my favorite fighter now. But no, but he is definitely a fan favorite, I would say, at the very least. He's not big, he's not a big name, but he's certainly a hardcore MMA fan favorite. But Rafael, I think it's going to be too strong in there in terms of his technical kickboxing techniques, right? So I'm going to go with him. Decision +187. Take that bond hit, sit back and enjoy the fight. But what are you guys thinking?
I'm good with that, buddy.
Yeah, that's great value.
Good with the bond hit, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes the distance too. I mean, sure, could be a crazy knockout, but like, I don't know. I think they're gonna go the distance, respect each other.
Yeah, Brad Riddell's chin is something else. Like really, I've seen him. Who did he fight? Who did he fight last?
Dober.
Yes, Dober. Well, Dober's chin looked even crazier.
Yeah, Dober's nuts.
Yeah. They were trading shots. Like, now, obviously, because Brad won the fight and he rightfully did so. Like he definitely landed more shots, and I think probably the harder ones. But he was taking some to give him as well, and so yeah, I think he's going to be able to withstand that type of fight against Rafael, who's he's not gonna he doesn't have amazing power for this division in my opinion. It's more of his speed. His speed is ridiculous. I think decision's good there, but that's basically
minute and a half left.
That's all I had for UFC. So yeah, you guys jump in there.
Yeah, we only got 90 seconds only. So why don't you hit us with some of your value plays or prelim plays here? Rapid fire.
So just the Guida Santos fight. I don't know how Santos is going to win, but it's a horrible matchup for Guida. -188 as the money line. The other one I wanted to say was Morono by finish. I'm not sure exactly what the number is for you. And I think that was it for me, Krantz.
So Morono is +250, which is actually really good because Mickey
for the finish. Yeah,
is going to run him out of the arena. So yeah, really like that, guys. Lock those two in. Again, that's Alex Morono, and I lost his name here. I don't even see it. It was the Clay Guida fight. There it is. Leonardo
Santos. Yes.
-180.
Yes, Santos. Yeah.
There you go.
Lock
those
in,
boys.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep. We got a big card next week, guys. So make sure to tune in, and we'll see you at the Cashier Saturday at midnight.
Get it.
There.
Woo-hoo.
Next up on the Hooks In MMA podcast is fellow gentleman himself, Josh Hill, on for the third time, and we're checking in with him before his fight on December 3rd. Bellator, big fight coming up. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. Good. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Thanks.
My third time on this? Yeah.
Yeah, like lucky enough to have you 3 times. Probably have to start charging a royalty or something, but when you get 6 views, you're pretty big time. So
there, man, pump those numbers up.
Actually, our biggest numbers are when you come on, so maybe we'll have you on weekly. So what's been going on? Obviously you had your last fight was against a guy that's he's right up there, number one contender, most likely. Really good fighter. And I heard something about, an injury in the first round there. Just speak towards that and how he was and how you've been since.
Yeah, that it was a shit fight, man. To be honest, that's all it was. It just all around, like stylistically, I said before the fight we were very similar, and I thought either that's going to be going to go one of two ways. Either going to be like a clash and fireworks, or it's going to kind of be a stalemate. And I think it was more like the stalemate-ish. Like, he obviously did better than I did. He won the fight, but I still don't think we both looked good in that fight overall. And yeah, I mean, I broke my arm in the first round just blocking a kick, but that wasn't why I lost. It was just I couldn't get in a groove. He did good. I had the first round, he got my back and it just kind of like held me against the cage and just stayed heavy. He was heavy, like good positioning, but and then the second I was trying to play catch up a bit, and the third I just kind of at the end I went for broke and he timed a nice takedown and finished on top. But yeah, it was one of those nights shit wasn't flowing. Leading up to the fight, I had Lyndon was supposed to come down, who I work with the whole time, and then his COVID kept testing positive and couldn't come down, and then Alan thankfully came down and cornered me. He's awesome. We have a long time relationship, but we just haven't worked together in so long, so it was we didn't have any preparation going into it together. But yeah, it's and he's good. Stotts is a good fighter, so just put that one behind me and get on to the next.
Yeah, of course. And like, obviously, you've only lost to 3 guys in your career, so sometimes maybe chalk it up to him just for being good on that night, and he got you. Very, very few people do. So just moving forward, I know we talked personally. You're looking to get a fight somebody within the top 10. Kaz Bell, that name came up. A few other names came up. Didn't come to fruition. Hopefully early 2022 that happens. But how did the upcoming fight happen? And how did that get presented to you, I guess?
Yeah, I I called up Kaz Bell because he's another guy in the top 10 and he hadn't fought in a while. And then he said he'd fight me in February. And this was like September, October-ish. I'm like, you can't wait 6 months, bro. So beat it. And then what else did I want? Oh, yeah, I said try and get either Higo or Caldwell, somebody like that. Or because Gallagher and Mix were fighting already, right? And yeah, just shit didn't come together, and I guess there was only a limited number of cards before the end of the year, and also logistically about people, like certain countries they can go places, but certain you can't. You know what I mean? That's like it was almost gonna be an issue for me in this fight, which it's just all the bullshit, So yeah, they just said, Scoggins December 3rd if you want. I'm just like, yeah, for sure. I mean, I know he's not like in the rankings, but I said to my management, who's also his management actually, I'm just like, what do you think? Is it like worth fighting somebody outside the ranks? And they said, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. They're all over the place now. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't really do a whole lot. So yeah, that's how we came to do it.
Yeah. So what have you checked in on him? Obviously, he's got a pretty good record. If I'm not mistaken, he's 10-1.
10-1. Yeah.
Yeah. 10-1. He fought in CFFC or LFA, one of the two. And,
I think it's CFFC, I think.
Yeah. So he's fought some decent guys. What do you think of him? Older brother, obviously, was in the UFC.
Yeah.
Just obviously a good family, good fighting family. But what do you think about him?
I think he's good. I watched a few of his fights, a lot of like earlier stuff, so I don't really put too much stock into that because guys change so quickly. But yeah, very looks like he comes from that traditional like Taekwondo karate style, like very jumpy in and out. That wide stance. He does that a lot. Switches stances back and forth. He's got a good record. I don't think he's fought like the type of competition I have. I know he hasn't, for sure. So this will definitely be a step up for him in competition. But yeah, he's good, man. So I'm definitely not taking him lightly. I'm, going in there like it's the title on the line. Yeah,
and just a couple fights. Just want to get your your breakdown of. So you just mentioned Mix and Gallagher. I'm assuming you watched that fight for sure. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, I called Mix to win. I thought he would. It took longer than I thought. Um, you know, give Gallagher credit. He looked better in the earlier rounds than he like shows he's improved for sure. But you could tell he was gassed out in the third, and that's kind of what lost in the fight. Desperate shot, left his neck out, and got it. And there was a hunt for the guillotines. All these guys want to do is guillotine each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured Mix would win. And that's it, man. I would like to get, I'm not looking past Scoggins, but yeah, Gallagher would be one that I'd definitely like in the future too, or Mix down the road.
Yeah. It's almost like Gallagher. It was his demise, a guy that likes to pull guillotines, and ended up killing him in the end. But the other one, there's two more. One, Magomedov, when he fought Stotts. So Stotts fought him after you. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of hype on Magomedov, and in Warrenton, he's very good. I just thought stylistically that would be a hard match with Stotts, just because he does have a very good wrestling base. He's very heavy, but he's very controlled. You know what I mean, and like accurate. He's got a high fight IQ too. So yeah, it was a great fight though. Some good scrambles, some good wrestling, grappling exchanges, and yeah, huge win for Stotts, man. I think that really. The win over me and then the win over him, I think really kind of propelled him up to that. He's probably the number one contender. I no doubt he's number one contender now for sure. We'll just kind of see what happens with Pettis and Horiguchi.
Yeah, and that's where I was going to go to next. Obviously, Pettis looked great in his last fight, and then you think maybe Stotts was going to be next, and now he's probably sitting in the driver's seat for number one contender. But Horiguchi, obviously, risen, been around, only 3 losses. He's pretty talented. What do you think of that matchup?
Yeah, well, he was the champ, right? And both risen and Bellator, and then left due to injury. So I get why they give him the shot right away, like deservingly. That's a good fight, really good fight. I thought Archuleta would beat Pettis. I thought, but Pettis proved me wrong, and he looked really good in that fight. But I can't go against Horiguchi. I think I'm going to take him in this one. I think it'll be pretty evenly tested early on, and then I think I'll say Horiguchi by sub in like around 3 or 4. That's what I think.
And then would your prediction be Stotts and Horiguchi next?
Yeah. See, I think, Bellator in a way probably kind of wants Horiguchi to maybe win a bit, just because then they have a clear-cut title fight afterwards versus Stotts versus him. But if Pettis wins, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they would fight each other, being from the same camp, and just kind of depends on that. But yeah, then that would just creates problems, right?
Yeah. So my prediction, obviously having Horiguchi as a former champ, that's like you said, it's well deserved. But I do think it sounds like Stotts, speaking with him before, that he's willing to do that if there's no other guys to step in. So, I mean, Horiguchi's great because he deserves it. But then if he loses to Pettis, I think you got to do it. Like that creates a lot of buzz. It's for a championship. Yeah. It's not like it's like just a one-off, right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be worth it for those guys, right? Because that's
give them some extra coin, maybe, or
yeah, for sure. And because what's going to happen? Like, who's going to coach? Who's going to coach? You know what I mean? And like, who is the advantage there? And then who are you going to train with? Preparing, you're not going to train with each other. Prepare for each other, probably. I would imagine. Be weird. So
that'd be even better, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, these guys can be like, you know what? This is for a championship. We're going to make way more money. We're going to put it aside and do it. Then cool. But and that would create a lot of buzz too, because like 2 guys that are training partners are going to actually fight now. So that would be some good marketing behind it. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the fight. I guess.
Yes, still has to happen. But yeah, I believe this is the last card of the year, correct? On the 3rd?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they didn't announce any other ones for December, so I'm assume it's the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. So moving forward, just you've talked about not overlooking Scoggins, of course. If you get that win in early 2022 or a little later, what are you thinking, and who would you like to face next?
I would like, February, March, like Casbell, he said February, March, let's go. He's in the top 10. So that's what I said. I want somebody in the top 10. Why not take him or Gallagher or somebody in that top 5, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, so whatever. But yeah, that's why not do that, right? And I don't want a big layoff either.
No.
I'd like to get back in there within the first quarter.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, you got this fight, you signed it. It's before the end of the year. You didn't have to wait 6 months for Casbell. And you hopefully in the quarter of next year. Anything else new and exciting? Family's good, and you're out in Font Hill now. That the gym's back up and running. With everything else good?
Yeah, man. I had to. I'm out here in Alpha Male right now. I had to flee the country before I could not get into the U.S. With all the crazy shit going on with COVID and vaccinations and mandates. So yeah, my management said they called me. They're like, are you? They hate to ask me this, but are you vaxxed? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, well, there's a chance that you might not be able to get in the country at that time. Like, so we got to decide what we're gonna do here. I'm like, fuck. So I don't know. I just thought, I'm like, well, if I just go early, 3 weeks early, and just train where I come all the time. At least I'm in the country, and then I can just fly from Cali to Connecticut. So that's what we did. And I did my first half back home and the second half of the camp here. And then, so I don't know. We'll see what happens next year. We'll see what obstacles and hurdles I'm going to have to jump through.
Hopefully we'll get a Bellator card up in Canada.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
No, I highly doubt it too, but it'd be nice.
It would be cool. They haven't done it in 10 years.
It's been a long time, yeah.
Yeah. And I know the one of the main reasons they did it was because of Ken Hayashi and all his bullshit. And they said, it was a nightmare dealing with him, so they just never came back. But things have changed a bit. Luke's running now, and he's a lot easier to deal with. So we'll see. Maybe one day they'll come back.
Yeah, hope so too. Either way, travel well. I know a few of us are getting together next Friday, having a little Christmas party, but making sure to tune into the Bellator card on Friday. No better way to kick off the weekend. And we wish you luck, and thank you so much for coming on again, buddy. Gentleman Josh Hill, Hooks in MMA. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
See you, bro. Good luck.
All right, buddy. Thanks, dude.
Next up on the Hooks in MMA podcast, we're lucky to have on 12-2 welterweight. He's got a big fight coming up on December 3rd. Killys Mota. How's it going today?
I'm good, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. We appreciate you coming on and sharing, some stuff about your career here. So just, how's things been? We last saw you last November.
Yeah.
How have you been, and how was your last year training and just life in general?
Yes, right now, I think 1 year is my last fight, and after my last fight, man, my life is changed, everything's changed in my life, and I live in Connecticut before. Right now I moved for Florida. I start one new life right here, new gym, new team, and it's crazy, but right now I'm back.
Yeah. So which gym is that, and who's in your corner on December 3rd?
December 3rd is my team is Renato, Rasta. He's Brazilian guy. He's the best in Brazil, the kickbox. And Steve Moko, wrestle. Yeah, man. Everybody, the team, the America top team,
Yeah, that's fantastic gym, and just the moving towards your next fight here. You're coming off of a loss, but you've had a really successful career thus far. You're 12-1 up until the end of last year. So what did you take away from that last fight, and what kind of things have you been working on this past year?
Yes, I live over here in America for 3 years. A lot of things change. My life, I talk, change, everything change, right now, brother, I'm feel happy, for me back more strong. My mind right now, I have focused 100% in, only me in training. A couple years ago, my life is a little confused. I start to coach, I don't have focused too much in myself. I focus in coach and teach, and because this, I think my career You know, it's go down. I have two losses. You know, one in LFA and the last fight in Bellator. But right now, no. Right now, I'm back. You know, 100% focused on myself and my training. You know, I have one coach right now. You know, he all the time he asks him, you know, hey, training, man. Hey, you eat good today. You know, and yeah, right now I'm back. Killys Mota's back, man.
Yeah, very excited for that. So this next fight, you're fighting at lightweight, correct?
Yes, I'm back for 155.
Back, yeah. So can see, you know, the transformation. Obviously, you know, you're fighting a guy who's coming off a big win himself. He's trying to keep himself relevant in Bellator, and he had a good performance his last fight out. So, what do you think of Mike Hamill, and how do you match up against him?
Yeah, I watched one fight with him. You know, I don't know too much, but my coach stood him. You know, like I say for Bellator, you know, hey, I wanna fight one good guy. You know, put me one good guy for fight. And Bellator sending me two opponents, you know, top 5, top 10. You know, I say, yeah, I want to fight with the best guys. And I think I don't know what's going on, but the fight is canceled. You know, this guy's come for me. Hey, you want to fight this guy? I say, yeah, of course, this guy is very good. You know, and yeah, I want to fight with the best. He's very good fighter, man. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, so it should be a good matchup. But you know, throughout your career, you know, been very successful. You fought on, you know, a bunch of different promotions. But how does it feel to finally, you know, be in one of the big shows in Bellator?
For it's my dream, you know. In Brazil, I fight a good promotion, but you know, but it's small, you know. No, for no money, these guys don't pay me nothing. In Brazil, I'm fight. I broke my whole body and fight. And these guys don't pay me nothing, you know. And right now, these guys pay me good money for fight. No good money, you know. But I can live my dreams, you know. These guys can pay for me, you know. I'm so excited, you know, so happy because of this, you know. And yeah, right now I live my life for training, you know. I live my dreams. In Bellator, you know, in my opinion, Bellator is in UFC is the best in the world, you know. Right now I'm so happy, man. I'm so, you know.
Yeah, you've earned it, and it's you know, congratulations to you for getting there. And I'm sure you want to start putting together some wins to really show you know, your skill set and all the things you've overcome. Just, you know, talked to you earlier outside of the cage. So you said your wife's pregnant.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. You too, bro. Your wife too.
Yeah. We got a couple days left here, so we're getting close. When's the due date?
When the baby?
Yeah, when will it come?
Yeah. 1 second. Quando que o bebê chega? March.
Awesome. So congratulations and good luck with everything along the way.
You too, man. Congrats for your baby too, right?
Thank you. Yeah, so just to finish up here, I'm going to ask you a few questions. We call it between rounds, and you just give me your best answer, okay?
Okay.
What's your favorite sport other than MMA?
MMA, soccer, you know?
Yeah. Favorite Brazilian soccer player of all time?
Brother, I don't watch too much more soccer, you know, but, you know, like Neymar, you know.
Yeah, for sure. What's your favorite spot in Brazil? Your favorite place to go to?
Place in my city, you know, like in my
your home city?
Curitiba.
What about in America? What's your favorite place?
Right now over here, brother. You know, Florida. Florida's the best.
Yeah, awesome.
Warm, you know, it's good food, good training. Over here is perfect.
Do you have a favorite couple of martial artists of all time?
Right here?
Yeah, just in general. Yeah, favorite couple of fighters that you used to watch when you were younger.
Yeah, man, I watch, you know, like I watch it. Wanderlei Silva, you know, Shogun, Mauricio Shogun, you know, this guy is motivation, you know, and Pitbull's brothers, you know, I watch these guys in the beginning, I put in the video in the YouTube, I watch these guys, I mean, I don't have training and experience in nothing, like I watch these guys, they run the streets, lift weights, I want to be a fighter, because this guys. But right now, I fight the same in promotion, the Pitbull brothers, it's so nice, man.
Yeah, fantastic. And obviously he got a big win last week in Patricky. So that was fantastic. Any sponsor shout outs or social media to finish up?
A sponsor?
Yeah.
I don't have a sponsor.
Well, we gotta get you some.
Yeah, I need a sponsor, man. I know.
Yeah.
My sponsor is my wife, me and my wife, she works, she's helped me,
So if anybody who's watching this, let's get a sponsor for the Killer here.
Yeah, man. I need you guys. Believe in myself.
Yeah.
I'm next step of the war.
Yes. So excited for your fight December 3rd. Killys, the Killer Mota. This is Hooks in MMA. Thanks so much, bro.
Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Next up on the Hooks in MMA podcast, we're lucky to have a gentleman who's been in the UFC for a while. He's a veteran, but he's nowhere near where he hopes to be. He's got a 15-8 record, and he's looking to put it to 16-8 on December 4th. Bryan Bam Bam Barberena, how's it going today?
It's going great, man. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. We appreciate it. So I guess just first off, just tell everyone where you're from and what it was like growing up and what got you into MMA.
I'm originally from California, San Bernardino, LA area. Grew up there and just grew up like everybody else, I guess. Normal kid, playing outside, a lot of outdoor stuff. Always had a passion for football and always watched boxing growing up with my dad and just my brothers and family and everything. I have two younger brothers, and they also we all used to just roughhouse around and stuff, wrestle around, box a little bit in the backyard. But I grew up in California, didn't end up playing football or boxing or anything, no contact sports until I got to high school. Played football, and then moved to Arizona, played football there. And my junior year of high school, I found MMA. I found UFC on TV. I believe it was like The Ultimate Fighter or something like that. And I was like, holy cow, what is this? I need to find out more about this. I want to do this. Like, this is awesome. My brothers were just as pumped as I was. We ordered some gloves online and started a little underground fight club at our house and at the school with people from school and everything like that, just matching people up, almost doing a little matchmaking myself as well. So that was always fun. And we just learning as we go. And then so I kind of fell out of love with football and in love with MMA. And so after high school, I decided I wanted to pursue MMA instead of football. I had full rides to go play college and decided to turn those down and pursue MMA. And I ended up moving around again, back to California, Minnesota. And there wasn't a closed gym there. So, there was a closed big gym in the town I lived in Minnesota. But luckily, I ran across some guys from the Stomp Factory, the old grounds of Thief River Falls, Minnesota. And those guys helped teach me and bring me into the MMA world. And 6 months later, I had my very first fight, first and only amateur fight. Won a decision, and I was hooked. And everybody said I should go, that I can go pro and make money. And I was like, man, no way I can make money doing this. Sweet. And I went pro the next time. And, I started at 205 and had worked my way all the way down to hit every weight class on the way down to 155. And then now I'm back up at 170. I had moved back to Arizona, trained at the MMA lab. Moved from there to Tennessee, started building a farm. And now I train in North Carolina at Jim O with Jeff Jimmo as the head coach here. And I have a lot of great guys surrounding around me, and a great coach. He's phenomenal. And, big things ahead with big fights. I'm in the UFC now and been in there for a little bit, enjoying the journey.
Absolutely. I got three-step question for you. Do you have a favorite college football team, favorite NFL team, and lastly, what is the school you would have went to for football if you didn't choose MMA?
Favorite college team. I guess I'll say University of Tennessee, the Vols. Vols. And then NFL, the Raiders are my team. Honestly, I don't know why. I just always liked them growing up, and just kind of always followed them. So I followed more players than I did teams usually. But the Raiders would be my team, and then the college for out of high school. I don't really remember. There was a few, but I didn't really. Boise was on the list. I knew that, and I wanted to go there. I guess was one of my top picks. So
awesome. So just, to move forward for people that don't know, I mean, rarely do you want to talk to someone about their losses, but I bring that up specifically because of who you've lost to in terms of the quality of competition. So, fighting in the UFC, obviously everyone is talented. They wouldn't be there if they weren't. But, Leon Edwards, Colby Covington, Vicente Luque, 3 of the top 5 guys in the division currently. Just speak to, accepting basically fights against the top-notch guys, being that guy that will take on anyone, and kind of how it signatures yourself as, a guy that'll take on anyone at any time, anywhere, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of my mindset. I feel like that's been my whole career. Whoever, even outside of the UFC, whoever they offer me, I'm gonna fight them. Whatever name comes on the contract, that's who I'm gonna fight. I don't do back and forth of like opponents or anything like that. Whoever they offer me is who it is. And you know what? I want to test, like you said, everybody in the UFC is tough. These guys, when I fought them too, were coming up as well. And I've known tough guys, supposed to be good strikers, good everything, good wrestlers, whatever. I want to test myself against the best. I want to test myself against everybody. That's really what I love the most about MMA for me. Like, yeah, I want to get to the title and everything, but I want to fight everybody. I don't want to just fight, the top guys, whatever, whoever they want to give me, whoever they think they, want to match me up with, I'll take it. Like, we can fight. I don't care. Because I want to test myself against everybody. And it may not be the top and I may lose, or may be the top and I may win. It's on that given night is what excites me the most, is because anybody can be anybody on any given night, So I want to test my skills against everybody. So it's really, I feel at times, people will say they want to fight everybody, but then you get people stepping up and, they don't end up getting the fights or whatever. So, I mean, whatever the first fight that comes to me, that's the fight we're getting. So,
yeah, and that's a good transition, because the guy you're fighting on December 4th, Mota Bryan, obviously he's been around, and he's a legend of the sport. I have to say, I'm sure you'd probably agree with the types of wars he's gone through, but similar in terms of style with you, or fighting anyone at anywhere at any time. Just how do you think that fight's going to play out? I know we talked the other day, maybe a $50K bonus. Let's hope so. But,
yeah.
How do you get your hand raised against somebody like that?
Yeah, I'm super excited about a fight. I'm a big fan of Matt Brown. I've been watching him for a very long time. Love his style. Love that he brings it. And that's what excites me even more about this fight is, he has that, kind of guns blazing kind of style, And that's exactly how I see this fight's going to be. It's going to be, a dog fight, whatever, gun fight. We're going to be, it's going to be a nonstop war, back and forth. I think it's going to be on the feet mostly. But I think he'll tend to try to mix it up. He's older in his career. He's a veteran. He has, a wide variety of things he likes to do as well, mixing it up. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to mix it up, but I can see this fight being mostly on the feet and be really exciting. And it's a fan favorite fight, and it's exciting for me. I guarantee you it's exciting for him. It gets him excited to get up and train, and I'm excited to go get after him.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting for sure. At the very least, a great 3-round, 15-minute, war. So looking forward to that. So just to finish up, we do a 1 minute between rounds segment. It's just, asking you a question. You give me your best answer. Okay.
Cool.
What's your favorite spot to travel to in California?
Probably the beach.
Do you have a favorite beach you go to?
Newport, Huntington.
Yeah,
Where I just always go.
yeah, I've heard good things. Favorite sport other than MMA?
Football.
And what about a cheat meal after a fight? What's your go-to?
100% always pizza. First thing I hit up. Always.
A couple of your favorite mixed martial artists of all time.
Always been a fan of Chuck Liddell. Growing up, he was one of the first people I watched. Forrest Griffin, Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson, Benson Henderson. Huge fan.
Yeah, and favorite TV series or movie?
TV series. Right now I'm really feeling Yellowstone.
Yeah,
it's a good show. Some Breaking Bad, Dexter.
Yeah. What do you think of the new Dexter?
It's interesting. It's definitely a little bit different, but I could see it's playing back to the kind of the old Dexter, but he just seems a little not so clean in his approach.
yeah. He's maybe lost a step.
Yeah.
Which is something you haven't done. So just to move forward, any sponsor shout outs or social media to finish up here?
First off, I want to thank my wife and kids, Diana, Deegan, Jill, Tevia. Love them so much. Always huge support. Everything we do, everything I do is, surrounded by them, and, their support is always most important. Love them so much. And, the sacrifice of being away through camp and going to bring home this win come December 4th. Sweet James, my accident attorney, my man, Sweet James. If you need an accident attorney, hit him up. California, Nevada, Arizona, he's your guy. Definitely hit him up. Frozen North Hemp, they take care of me for my CBD, all my aches and pains throughout camp, everything. They got me covered. Gold Club Canine Group for my dogs. The Breath Belt, Envisage Sport Performance Coffee. Man, it helps. Definitely gets me woken up before my workouts. I'm a huge coffee guy. I need to check it out. It's an instant coffee with great taste and added benefits to help you through your workouts. Go check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, he's a family man, an animal lover, and most importantly, coming up here, a killer in the cage. So can't wait to see you on December 4th. Bryan Bam Bam Barberena. This is Hooks in MMA. Thanks so much, bro.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. It was great talking to you.
You too.